The winter campaign, week 6. Welcome, Will.
Thank you, Jack. I can't believe we're on week 6, but
We
you're
are.
right.
You may have noticed we have slightly moved where we usually film. We usually film in the kitchen. We film this on a Monday night, and we've had so many donations today. Monday's the only day CAFE43 is not open during the week. We've had so many donations that we've had to have moved because everything is all behind the cameras over there. So we're in front of our lovely Christmas tree.
Yeah.
So, Will, this week we are going to chat about what House of Bread does in the winter and how CAFE43 helps us provide that during the winter. But can you briefly just describe the relationship between CAFE43 and House of Bread?
Yeah. So House of Bread is the main charity. And CAFE43 is one aspect of the work that we do, and it's our sort of interface, I suppose, with the general public.
It's our front line.
It's our front, yeah. So other stuff that goes on behind that is a whole lot of casework, a whole lot of working with other agencies, statutory providers, and other charities actually in Stafford, 24/7, 365 days of the year. So it's important to remember that the cafe is just one aspect of our work. We've also got we've got big storage locations where we do a lot of work there, and the cafe allows us to either address an issue where we might meet somebody during a casework experience and say, right, come down to our cafe so they can come in here and we can continue to work with them, or it's a point of contact for other agencies. So we have the CAB here. We also work with the police, family intervention partnership, social services, probation, and they can use this venue as a way of meeting somebody in neutral territory.
So basically, it's where we say hello to people. It's
Yes.
it's House of Bread's physical presence,
Yes.
but in a regular community cafe, because we don't want CAFE43 to be seen as just a place for our friends, people who are homeless, people who need something. Anybody's welcome at CAFE43.
I mean, a vast majority of the people who come in through our front door are actually folk who are socially isolated for one reason or another. So they might be vulnerably housed in the sense that they might be struggling to hold on to their tenancy. So by coming into the cafe and either building up their self-esteem and being encouraged by the engagement they have with folk here, or specifically asking questions to address that vulnerability, we're actually encouraging them and enabling them to stay in their tenancy. And that's a difficult side to establish because quantifiably that's quite difficult to enumerate. What we know is when people come in, they leave happier, they leave more confident. And if that means that they can live their lives or move on in different ways and deal with address issues either sort of within the family or with statutory, then that job is done. And that's part of what the cafe offers.
So the winter specifically,
Yes.
because we're in the winter campaign, House of Bread, how does that specifically help people during the winter, and how is that different to CAFE43? And then how does CAFE43 help people, and how is that different to House of Bread? A lot of questions.
Yeah.
Just answer all of those.
Okay. In essence, the stability and access to CAFE43 for whomever is the sort of linchpin of the direct contact they have with us as a service provider, an information provider, or an encourager. Outside of that, because we link up with a sort of outreach work that we do, or we might be asked to go and be an advocate for somebody in a social services situation or in a court situation, for example, where we're coming alongside somebody who's experiencing difficulty, the cafe might be a place where we meet them on a sort of sandwich coffee basis, but the actual
House
work,
of Bread who supports them.
It's House of Bread that supports them. So the casework is done, a lot of casework is done off-site, not always at the cafe. A lot of the training of other statutory providers happens off the premises. A lot of the engagement with other charities. I mean, we support a lot of charities in Stafford. We also work with a couple of charities in Birmingham, one in Stoke-on-Trent. That all happens outside of CAFE43. But CAFE43 enables us to have that contact point, which is so vital, and guide clients or friends, as we call them, into the cafe. As a way of anchoring into the service, and then from that, so we move on to the other aspects of House of Bread.
And kind of like CAFE43 is the face
Yes.
of House of Bread,
Yeah.
like you said, the point of contact. But because before we had CAFE43 as a building, we were only in various places for 2 hours on a Wednesday evening, homeless ourselves, and there was no we had to meet people in coffee shops or up at the units, but that's not necessarily the most business-like place.
And this is a safer environment for a lot of folk who are vulnerable. So we have a lot of work that we put in place around safeguarding to keep people secure, giving them the ability to hopefully unpick some of the issues they've got.
So if somebody's watching this and they want to
Yeah.
support us in that work, how can they support House of Bread? How can they support CAFE43? Is there any difference, or can people tailor their donations?
Any donation that we receive, whether it's practical or financial, can be tailored to whatever the person's particular desire is, if that's what you want to do. So if you want to sponsor our electricity bill at CAFE43, that would be a good thing. If you want to...
Because we get loads of, as Will always says,
Yeah.
we get loads of beans, we get loads
Yeah.
of vegetables. We can't pay the bills in beans.
One of the things House of Bread, and we're really going to be focusing on this next year, is that if you have a heart for a particular aspect of the work that we do, and that is materialising from your side in terms of resource, whether that be funding or physical resource, then come and talk to us, because if we can fulfil something which might be very meaningful and personal to you through your donation, and we want to make sure that we are being responsible with your donations.
And we do that a lot already, because a lot of the grants we apply for
Yeah.
will are very focused. We apply for them,
Yeah.
so we know what the focus is, but it might be casework. It
Yeah.
might be casework supporting people aged 18 to 25.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
might be setting up a phone line to
Yeah.
call people. All these kind of things. So we are very used to ring fencing
Yeah.
specific donations. So don't feel that it's just going to go into the big vat and it'll
Yeah.
get spent on anything. If you want us to spend money on a certain project,
Yeah.
you know, if you specifically love electricity and you want it just to go on that light up there, we can
Yeah,
probably
we can do
work it
that.
out somehow. You know, you can see that you've really made a difference.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
really specific with your donation, even if it is financial, you can see that you've really made a difference in somebody's life.
That's absolutely about what it is about, if that makes sense.
I think Will panicked
it's-
there because I gave him a secret wind-up signal and he saw it and
Yeah,
panicked.
it's about making sure that you feel that we're making the right progress in the right way, that your gifts have the value of generosity back to you.
I think that made sense. Right, thank you very much, Will,
Okay.
for going through that.
We'll be back
Thank
in
you
the
very
kitchen
much
next week,
for the
hopefully.
tree. We're
Yeah.
kind of hugging it as we're talking here to get everybody in. As ever, if you want to know what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, all the upcoming events, don't forget to check out HoB News. That goes up on Sundays at 6 o'clock. But until then, it's a big thank you from us two again for watching. If you have brought down a reverse advent calendar this week, hello, thank you very much. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.